This is Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, which is a prequel to the original base game, where you basically play as some guy that's trying to be nosy and figure out what's going on with this weird, creepy, secluded neighbor that's all suspicious. In that one, you fight against the neighbor. He creates traps, and you try to hide from him, and you try to use objects and everything like that. The concept of that one was actually neat, but the game itself was absolutely horrible. I thought it was just a terrible effort. And this is a similar sort of follow-up. Now, the thing is, there's actually a pretty interesting little story kind of hidden in the background of this. So you play through the perspective of the daughter. The neighbor right there has kids and a wife, and yeah, so these two play hide and seek, and they kind of go to fantasy settings. You'll kind of see what I mean in a sec here. There's only 5 levels, and the content is actually incredibly light. You're just doing fetch quests, where you're going and you're picking up items and placing them, and you're not even really doing that for all of the levels. I'd say there's only really 3 real levels where you're doing this, and the first one is kind of like the main chunk of it, and it kind of just drives you crazy. So they take the gameplay from the last one, minus like the traps and stuff, and they just have this obnoxious character following you around while you're trying to collect items. So if you jumped in here and you didn't know how to play the game and you didn't play the first one, you'd be like, well, what am I doing? Because they don't tell you the controls. There's no tutorial. There's no sense of understanding what you're supposed to be doing. So it's just kind of random nonsense. And you don't even know what your objective is. You're thrown into this world, and I guess there's a sense of, oh, I get to go and discover what I'm doing. But a lot of people are kind of like, I want to have an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing, and you get none of that. You just wander around aimlessly. It's on Xbox One X here, and the performance is not great. It's also not an enhanced title, like the first one was, so a little bit less of an effort. And yeah, it's kind of, I want to say, a little bit of a piss poor effort. And a lot of objects, because it's kind of like physics based, kind of disappear, or you lose track of them and you're never able to find them. And sometimes certain items kind of get glitched, or you get stuck, and it's just a terrible time, at least from my opinion, while playing this. So in this, we're trying to collect animals and put them in the basket. But if you don't get them properly in the basket, they don't count. And yeah, it's just kind of nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And then you'd walk around, you'd be like, well, what am I doing? And you wouldn't know, and then this stupid little kid would come and get you. You can go to the settings and turn off the intelligence. You can make it friendly, and you can have hints on or off. You can put a mixer count for interactivity if you'd like to, if the game wasn't annoying enough, as is. And yeah, it's just sort of really weird. And the hints don't really, tell you anything. They'll give you an arrow, but the hint will usually be incorrect and show you to the wrong place. So it's kind of useless to even have them. I do think the worlds are pretty neat looking. They're a very different type of aesthetic, but it's just a really boring, horribly annoying, and obnoxious game. It creates time by basically forcing you to do the same repetitive tasks. So as you're collecting these items on the ground, he'll actually take those items afterwards, and he'll go and re-hide them if he catches you and everything like that. And then you don't know where they are, and then you have to go and find them, and you go to the same spots over and over and over again, and it kind of drives you crazy. Okay, here we go. So I kind of just got stuck here. Oh no, now I'm out. That's good. But you get the sense of that, where it's like, it's kind of a free-flowing world where you have those problems, the physics and everything like that. And I don't know, I don't really like those kind of games, because it just feels like big pointless nonsense. Like, I've just wasted time on this. And you'll look and you'll look and you'll be like, what am I doing? What is the point of this? And it's just like a huge, complete waste of time. There we go, I got one of the creatures. Ah, damn it. No, come on. Get back here, rock. Yeah, so you use the rocks, and then you kind of doing stuff like that. And that level of like complexity to the actual movement is interesting. In the sense that you're gathering stuff and you're actually fixing things. And that kind of made the first game interesting, was the fact that you're actually trying to do something. Yeah, there we go. And then we see this clock move, and that's kind of our indicator of what's happening. But in the first game, you actually had like a mission, you had like goals, and you did things in a day. You know, you try to figure things out. And this just seems like a lazy kind of spin-off that they could use the name and kind of give a little different of a concept to it. And I just don't like this. I don't find it very interesting, and I find it kind of annoying. I mean, I don't think it's going to be for everyone, and it just drives me crazy playing this. Like, because I was sitting there, and I'm trying and trying and trying to find this stuff, and he's constantly, like, just bothering me while I'm trying to do stuff. And it's just like this annoying little sound when he's close to you. And then there's a certain point where it's like, I've been everywhere, I've looked everywhere, and I've been to all the spots where I originally collected stuff, and I've been to every inch of this, and I still can't, progress. I still can't beat this. It's just annoying. So, like, this first level is like a bit of a safari, and the second one, you're basically running around as kind of like a cops and robbers type situation, and then the third one's you're like fire people, and then it kind of gets a little bit different from that point on. Yeah, so he's chasing me right now. It's relentless, this guy. But you get that sense of it where it's like a bit of an imaginary type thing, and they get these bigger than life kind of open areas that you can explore and interact with. See, still following me? There are some little areas where you get to actually interact with stuff, and I'm going to show that in a sec here. But a lot of the time, it's just kind of like annoying little walking around and hoping you stumble across something. I guess maybe at one point you'll be able to use guides to come in here and be like, oh, I know where that is, and it takes 2 seconds, but it's, for the most part, it's really goddamn annoying. Especially when he goes and he hides stuff afterwards. It drives you goddamn crazy. And I don't know about other people, but I don't like to wander around in a room for an hour with no point as to what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. I mean, there's a little bit of a really kind of actually well done story sitting there in the backdrop. It's just the gameplay mechanics are absolutely horrible and boring. I don't find this interesting. I'm just running around in circles from this stupid AI that's following me. And it's supposed to be like a smart AI that learns what you do and stuff to challenge you more. Ah, son of a... But it really isn't. I mean, it's just a lock-on follow AI. It does fetching, and there's no learning, there's no mechanics to it. It's just stupid. This guy, so you gotta put boxes down on the little black mounds in order to get the thing. Oh, great. So yes, he has taken the stuffy and hid it not where I not know where I do not know where to find it, which is fantastic. At least that one's still in there. And he progressively takes more and more of the stuffed things, and it just, oh god, it drives you crazy. So right now I'm looking for rocks, and then with the rocks I'll be able to get to higher kind of elevations and unlock more. Come on! And it's very floaty too. It's kind of awkward to control. It's absolute madness playing this. And it's just kind of it's not something I enjoy, this type of thing. And the first one drove me crazy because, again, that one actually had a very interesting sort of concept to it. There's a mystery and everything like that. And I guess this one sort of does, but it just spells it out for you as the story progresses. And it's just really light on content. It feels like it's light on content. There's quite a few hours. If you like this type of game, there's actually quite a few hours of gameplay here. Wandering around aimlessly looking for things and trying to figure stuff out. Cool, that's there. It's not for me though. I don't like this, and I find it kind of just obnoxious. And sometimes it's where's this character at? You don't see them for a while. They're just kind of wandering around doing their own thing, I guess. I don't know. Or they're hiding your object, I'd like to think. It just seems kind of weird. So yeah, I mentioned that. We take the boxes and we put them down there. And then eventually we'll be able to grab the creature from that mound area. When it pops up. It's sort of a strange situation playing this. Woo. And I guess it's sort of dynamic as you wander around aimlessly looking for things. And dealing with it's weird bouts of performance problems. And I'm just wondering why this one is not able to achieve the same like sort of level of enhancements that the first one was, considering, you know, well, I guess that one ran horribly on the 1X, which was just sad, so there's not very good optimization. But yeah, it's just like a wonder why they weren't able to do so. I mean, it looks pretty good with its, you know, different sort of artistic little cartoon style, but I don't think it's anything too impressive. Ah, crap. And then you can see how we're slowly being able to jump higher and higher because of the placement of the rocks. Okay, now we want to be able to do that one. He's just following me again like some maniacal monster. Kind of want to get this one going, and then I can get up to that place. See, that kind of stuff is cool. I just like... They sort of stripped down what made the first one interesting to a degree. Like, I hated the first one. I thought it was just absolutely horrible. But I had to admit that it did have some interesting concepts to it. And this just feels like a streamlined, stripped-down version of it, just to kind of get, like, you know, off the brand name recognition and everything like that. Kind of lazy. So we're starting to fly quite a bit higher. Come on. And then we're able to reach new points and collect new critters for the basket. See, there's a stuffy up there too. I think we need one more rock, and then we'll really be rolling. Get it? Rock and rolling? Yeah. Oh, cool, he put down the stuffy finally. That's great. So I guess that's another layer of it. Oh no, never mind, he didn't. It's just the meat thing. Yeah, some of the objects don't properly load in, so you'll think like something's like something you need from far away, but you'll get close to it and you'll be like, ah, it's nothing. So the reason we're doing another circle is because I need to get in this bucket. Actually get pretty high already. That's surprising. Come on. Oh. Yeah, that's not annoying at all. I actually do have all the rocks. Fantastic. Great. I didn't even think about that. So, yeah, we found all the rocks that we need, and then we're going to go over to the other high area and be able to do that. I just want to show off enough of this so you get an idea of the actual mechanics here. I thought it didn't have that many, but I was like, oh, I actually am jumping pretty high. Oh, I guess there's not one in this time. No, okay, well that's a bit weird. Like, this is just annoying. Like, you gotta come up here and then you can't see where it's actually below you. Come on. It's just stupid. I guess I could take a little bit of steam off of this thing in order to make it work better. Oh, come on. It's like dun-dun-dun, and just this annoying sound of this character following you. Like, I don't like that style of game. I just find it absolutely boring. And this level's actually pretty hard on the eyes, so I'll look at this for a while when playing it, and then I'll look off, and it actually hurts quite a bit. So, you know, maybe be careful of that also. Just a quick mention. You can hold multiple items, and sometimes you'll get stuck like you are in this spot, and then you'll get saved by the bird. And then you gotta wait. Yeah, so kind of a neat set of characters. And I'm really not sure why the context of the narrative in this drove the guy to act like he did in the next one. Well, I guess maybe, I don't know, it just seems a bit strange to paint the character in this light. Come on! I'm moving to the side, and now he's got that one, and that will be hidden somewhere too. Fantastic. Yeah, just a load of fun dealing with this game. But yeah, that's basically Hello Neighbor. Wander around, get stalked by somebody, and you just do that in a couple of different settings and pretty, at times, low detailed worlds. This one's got a little bit more to it, but some of the later ones are a lot less fancy in style. An annoying bird there, we'll get rid of that in a sec. When we jump up here. There are these stuffies. And this egg, and then the big bird will come up because it's all pissed. Why'd they put that on the ledge here? That's just so annoying to do stuff like that. The game just doesn't have the style to be properly set up for pinpoint accuracy on movement. It just chugs along too much. And then you'll notice the clock is slowly moving. I guess we don't need the egg. Well, we could have blocked the mound with it, but whatever, I don't care. And we get attacked again by the tiger. Yay! So exciting, trying to do something and getting bothered. And again, you can turn off the smart AI, but, you know, I guess a large point of the game is actually dealing with the AI, so you're sort of, you know, removing a core component of actually playing this by doing so. But you can make it a little bit more tame if that is what you want to do. Yeah, this gives, you know, a decent idea of what to expect in this. And you get to see that repeated in about 2 more levels, and then the one level is kind of like a little bit more creative than this one in terms of how it's laid out and what you actually have to do in it. But then the last one is like a really short little sort of narrative type driven thing sequence, which again, it's got an interesting idea to it. Oh, and you could shoot the kid with the gun. You want to see that? Stupid kid. Yeah. How do you like it? Huh? Yeah. So that's Hello Neighbor.